To divinely intervene as needed for my highest good, aka the highest good. This includes the inclusion of my extraterrestrial divine fam. All right, so I'm getting the energy cards, and what we're answering here is a recap with blind spots. This is talking about hindsight versus afterthoughts. Okay. So left side, I like within the 3 seconds that are allotted, I like the cards stuck together. So that's how it is. Okay, so the fault line inverted and the mystic in reverse. Okay. You know what's so funny about today? I heard everyone, whether or not anything was spoken or spoken directly or indirectly. I heard it. I heard you. Okay, and so part of it is funny because as an artist, a leader of some sorts, as a visionary in their own aspect. Now, I'm not trying, like, I'm just looking at things. Um, you sometimes you're hard on yourself because of like the seal performance, like don't, that kind of performance, like Hercules. Like you feel like that the pressure to perform that pleases everyone, like whether that's, you know, especially in this nature, like people think that they're going to transpire in a certain way. But like, I'd say over 50% had a good attitude towards it. Like it wasn't what we had all thought it to be. Um in its hype. I wouldn't say that this was overhyped in the energy. I mean, you have to know in spirituality that or anything that's worthwhile, that there are incremental patterns that depict that allow for the unfoldment. And so I felt like some people, like a fraction, got upset with me or upset with my proclamations. Like they were taken more like proclamations rather than oracles. um but I feel like as humans, like, so I'm not going to build an identity around this. I feel like as humans, we do have a degree of impatience. um Social media will also speak of the same. So I am not disappointed. Um I would have just liked things to be more like I wasn't as social as I normally was. I really needed the downtime to isolate to myself. And I still, carry on the excitement, of, the threads that, I wasn't anybody different. I just, in this particular instance, I felt like at the moment that I owed it to myself to experience my moment in its chiller form, the introverted form, like more focused to the activities of, and noticing my personal improvements uh with my inputs. So anyway, it's being objective with any implications that this is just any negativity, in its everyday form. Okay, so that's the energy there. Okay. And like if anyone brought like a plus one or whatever, and also extending the hype man energy, it wasn't hype man disease. Okay, don't worry about that. um anyway, um the right side is the womb card, extroverted, agape, I guess, pronounced, or inverted, horizontal, let's say. And the nectar card, also extroverted. So on the doing side, and there's a lot of fertility, a lot of productivity. That's my takeaway here. I put in a lot of love, and it shows within productivity. I showed up for myself. And so when I got the feeling of people being, disappointed or discouraged, I'd say more so it'd be fair to say like some more very just discouraged, but good attitude. This is just a normal human thing. Um, or when I felt people, like, even just on an incremental, like, temporary thing, that they were upset with me, the proclamations or oracle, that I had to revert immediately. My guides told me to revert to that reading, which was within like a similar time span, that my guides or I were not hand holding. This was all about independence and your own inputs, and what you see as like how do you say it? Being present, engaged, in the betterment of one's own. And I'm not going, like, out of everything that happened today, um I still stand by, like, that there were improvements. And so for me, in particularly, in being like completely transparent, um I did have a dollar blunt. Yes, I did. And the last time I had one was a month ago as well. But I kept everything down to a minimum, and I did notice that it did set me back for the introductory part of it. But, like, sometimes I know that I can handle my anxiety a lot more. A lot. How do I say it? I can meet in the middle, and mediate myself better in order to accommodate certain guests, visitors, or customers or prospects, let's say, their comfort level, and keeping me absolutely sober, heavenly sober. Um, yeah, in order to feel, better about our interactions, or um, I understand that people have different, backgrounds. So, um, it doesn't upset me. It's just a call to awareness that I would have been received a bit better, because people take away whatever it is they take away, after an interaction, and that may or may not carry hearsay. So, all the more reason, not about my reputation, but all the more reason to um, be at my very best. Um, those are the energies that keep me honest. Not to say that I was not deserving of, a break. Like, I felt a lot more relaxed. Like, not so like stick my ass with everything being like perfect. I think that's the whole thing about it. And I would say within disciplinary measures, that I did good within, all things in good measure. Yeah. So that's where I was. Anyway, it was just like a call to awareness. Okay. So prefix to the energy reading, which was absolutely evident, was the king, extroverted, and the riddle card, upright. And so do you see hands reaching? There's a bunch of hands imaged here. Okay. And then the king right here also, within that edition, just like panoramic view. And so there's a huge awareness of so this prefix level, there are other bosses that are objective to to viewing this. And gosh, it was hard to it was a little painful to see this in the environment, is that there were a couple of people that visited, that were quite alarmed by my surroundings, or even not my absolute crisp demeanor. I mean, this is like my evening gig thing. Oh, you see my pants? You'll see my pants. But yeah, this is not like, your crisp, you know, lady here. So, that's all I mean. And, but yeah, so there's that. And, so, I think it's just looking at things in panoramic view. And so this is kind of like the, excuse me, also the challenge of those that visited that were quite alarmed to like also expand upon what panoramic view is in their objectivity. And so there were contributions, so I certainly appreciate that. um I personally am not called to apologize about my portrayal, but I do realize the importance of or just making note of how to improve things overall. I did straighten up about midpoint during the event, to be more uh, to make more the most out of my downtime. And so when that happened, like things started moving more quickly for me. Um, I started seeing more of this happen, you know, more of that happening. And that was odd. That was so crazy. Like you see, like there's pearl right there, and then center point also the same there. So yeah, but it was going to come to me anyway. I just I was cognizant. I was observant of, how the energies were running. And so there's that. Okay. Okay. And so those are the energy cards. Okay. We're using the Shadowscapes Tarot. So we're doing a recap. Oh my gosh, I'm so bloated because like I ate so much sugar. uh, I couldn't finish one of like the Jamaica drinks that I wanted to have because like I was so bloated after like. Okay, temperance. Okay, so everything is chill and good. The water levels are, things are kind of calmed down after the shamuing. And I don't think I shamooed, but like I was very like I didn't put like how you do like a stage test or a dry run um or like a film test, like a camera test. I didn't do a setup prep like I intended on. I was just invested in um improving like bit by bit my presentations and like making sense out of it, just listening to whatever I was called to do to like matchmaking basically my resources. And my guys did a fabulous job with kind of not just training my eyes and my energies to latch onto um my resources and play that little game. um but they did great in allowing it to be more of like playtime with a degree of certainty. Like I knew when I was engaged that it wasn't like fun and games. um it was, or like shits and giggles. It was more like fun and games. That's what it was. And but it was a note of seriousness in it, um without feeling like suffocating. So like I knew that it had applications, like direct applications and also indirect applications to that greater pentacle energy. But meanwhile I got to see some of it transpire. And how do I say it? Somebody asked um how I did. And normally when I get asked about or hear conversations about it, if it's very intrusive and it feels very like um uh like not tasteful. Even in having conversation, like when they ask for direct numbers, it's like who the heck are you? Like to like because you know that um leads to immediate judgment. And so even if you did like massively well, um that's not, well, at least for me, that's not the kind of conversation that I would like to have. That's not what I'm ultimately here for. So for someone to be so bold as to direct those kinds of like accountant type of questions, it's very intrusive, I would say. So I understand like everybody operates differently. Everybody has their own incentive, has their own MO, but ultimately like I just know that um that's not what I'm there for. So I when somebody asks that, I did like relative to the knowledge of everything like that I've involved myself in that they're privy to as well. I said I made the most today than I ever did at one of the other venues, even collectively speaking. So, you know, uh, that's a good measurement right there. That's how you talk around certain things, okay? And still remain positive. In fact, I remember seeing somebody like, so thank you to even like just the visitors, like, hello, it was very nice seeing you, all, and even the new faces. And I'm glad that, you made your, rounds, and, just very nice. Okay. So, are we covering the hindsight part? Hindsight, versus afterthoughts? Yes, but we do need to get the header cards, okay? So, oh, whoops. Okay, okay. 3, 2, what? Oh my gosh. This is the first time that I put both hands on the same card, and it was the star card. Holy crud. But then I was like, no, 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 I have to. So it was like 3, 2, 1.5 negative kind of. Okay, so the star has like certain privileges, so I'm gonna take it as that extra half second. You know how you have a beloved kid, or like your kids are beloved or whatever, but I'm just saying, like, you're in that romantic stage of nostalgia with your kids, and you're disciplining them, and you're like, 3.5, you're counting to 10 or whatever, like you're buying them just a tad bit of time. So anyway, 3 of Wands and 8 of Wands in reverse. So I guess that's 11 Ace of Wands in total, but it's okay, so if these are the energy cards, we can, like, I can say we can all bet on, like, this is a singular, okay? My collective and I, okay? So this is a recap with blind spots for me and my divine collective that are, the unique crowd within the Pomona Bazaar, okay, that was present. And so, this is the energy, okay? Hindsight versus afterthoughts. And so, moving that to the right side, the doing side, our involvement. The left side here, okay, is there's no communication here, like nothing's being said. This is kind of like a quiet win. I did an after read before I when I packed everything up. I sat in my car for a second. I did a little bit of a oh, no, I did it before packing up, like the last half hour, I think. I did a reading. I'm like, I got a little like downtrodden in energy, and feeling out like, oh, I could feel like the sadness and others. Not like you're just like, So for those that know and understood it as like a quiet win, a quiet like the win is freedom, is victory, and seeing the like, just like how I pushed myself to, like, if I could take this as anything else, like, I had to employ the best employee to carry out the things um that would prepare one to be more ready at, you know, come with more readiness and be more tailored, be more custom fit and truer to your what you bring to the table. I can say I aced that there. Like, I made use of my time. Um and enjoyed the process for sure. I aced that. Um I think the lower hand part of it is that um even though I just had one like half blunt, um not saying anything, I just like it, I'm glad that it was just that. That there are more wholesome ways in which I could have been more impactful um and mediated. So for that, especially with seeing how that impacts others, especially if you claim a role or like are recognized within a certain level of leadership, that brings it down a notch. You have to be a little bit more disciplining of yourself. So I would say I did like a B minus. So I'm like, ah, but I still passed. Okay, I still passed. Um, um, yeah. So 3 of Wands. So there is more coming in. My ships are coming in. Our ships are coming in. You don't hear it. Like, you don't. It's kind of. It's better, just like with this experience, understanding this experience, this take home is that it's better maybe not to come off as an overhype with more things coming up. It's better probably not just to, like, it's better to come off more as a surprise than have this more of like reach the level of expecting. And so there's that. Okay. I'm just shocked to see the star card here. Oh, smokes. Smokeroonies. All right. So a quick recap with blind spots. Yeah? Okay. That one's quartered off. This is 10 of Cups inverted and 2 of Cups inverted as well. It flew off in the distance. It touched on this area thing. And it still was in reach. You didn't see me like fly off the handle in order to overextend myself. But this is one expectation that we can have here is I mean, this is 12 of Cups total, so there's a certain level of detachment from here versus when we reach the inbox. What's upcoming? Anyway, these are 2 highly abundant cards, and to be facing, like forward facing to the incoming rather than like trying to keep that all to myself at a maximum, or like expecting the maximum return in every degree without even looking at the inbox. There's something about that there, and knowing that, trusting and believing that there's more supplemental to this. And so that's interesting here. That's a degree that that would definitely not be overhyped. Interesting. Okay. So that's a recap with blind spots. Okay, I understand that. King of Swords in reverse. 8 of Swords. Yeah, people are just not feeling it right now. But especially with having to pack up and then load, especially if there's families, especially, you know. So um some people may feel like they're in limbo. That they may be lying to themselves, feeling like they're stuck, you know. Five of Wands in reverse. There are some wins in this though. I mean, I think that's just a temporary feeling though, because after the Eight of Swords in reverse, or Eight of Swords, is the Five of Wands in reverse and the Victory card. So it's like there was no combative behavior, I don't think. I don't know. I that's what maybe I was not privy to any outbursts, but I didn't see any like I'm better than you type of energy, or I don't think I got that. I didn't observe that. Any brawls, any like any carryover of bullshit energy. I did not see that. And so that was a win. In fact, you know what like absolutely emphasizes that is that on the way home, the first song that played actually, because I listened to a couple of readings or tried to or whatever on the way home. And the way home was actually very quick. But the first thing that I heard that when I came out of my car was Immune to Danger by Hippie Sabotage. And that is absolutely it's like that is a huge win right there, you know. So I think looking at these prefix cards, King of Swords in reverse and Eight of Swords, these are kind of like topical type of energies, okay? Topical vibes and feelings. So that acts as a blind spot. You know, the things that we feel and sense firsthand account that are triggering. That is a blind spot. And we can, that's fine, knowing that they are topical, knowing that they are aesthetic, that they are transient, and therefore elusive. And so we can dismiss some of that energy, we can get ourselves out of it. In fact, the King of Swords maybe can't get out of the inverted table, you know, chair, what is it, inverted machine on their own because they need to work on their core, but they know they can. Like eventually, after a few more crunches and whatever, they can get themselves out, or they can finagle themselves out. So it's knowing that part of it. Okay, right after the Six of Wands, Seven of Swords. It's just like a stolen win, like very unexpected energy. Yeah, so this is definitely a blind spot. Recap, but it's like one of the better ones. Okay, if you could have your flavor of blind spots, this is a very good, decent one. Okay. So, okay, now we can move into the territory of hindsight versus afterthoughts. Okay, so hindsight or afterthoughts? Hindsight, afterthoughts. Hindsight, afterthoughts. Okay, this one's going to do hindsight, this one's going to do afterthoughts. Okay, what's the hindsight? Okay, hindsight is the box, extroverted. And this is on the personal inbox, like right in front of you. Okay. Feels sick. Hold on. Okay, I don't know. Then the shaman inverted. So it's busting out of the box. There's some degree like very grounded roots within rooted teaching abilities. It's like it's very personalized, singular. But there's like also an expansiveness to it. Like this is base level, and it can only expand from there. Okay, so that's hindsight 2020. I feel like that's just for me, but because it was just right in front of me. But okay, so let's get it from my Pomona collective. Okay, what's your hindsight, or our hindsight then? Let's get that first one because it was quite audible and it's like ricochet of echo. The Starborn, holy crud. Crud, it's still on deck. So that's for both of us. So this is the Empress card. Like, come on. Like, you gotta give yourself accolades. This is not coming from me. I'm just a channeler. To have that, like, top of deck and make it, like, audible. Come on, like, forget, like, that's probably why they said, like, no matter what, just know that you are, like, you are good where you stand. That fountain card, just, you know, you are good, like, productivity or no productivity, sales or no sales. I didn't want to say that part at the time I was reading it, and I think it was for everyone's own good in doing that. It was just like that was kind of like a self-explanatory Captain Obvious type of thing, but they wanted us to, like, have a little bit of a challenge in perspective. So anyway, like, this is like, that's crazy. Like, I forgot about this card. That's for us. Okay, hindsight 2020. Okay. So, that's great. Okay, anything else? Hindsight. They want these ones. Okay. The gem. Okay. Inverted. The siren, extroverted. The seed, extroverted. So there's like a transitory state because the seed goes like the migratory process. Like, seed, how do I say it? Seeds are airborne just as much as they travel by water, and you know, there's yeah, so like this is kind of like a nest, but it's also grounded here, picking up gems along the way. So yeah, definitely. Okay, picking up gems along the way. And the siren is kind of like called and beckoned, or beckoning. So there's a manifestation here of of reallocations, like journeys, transits, etc., in a variety of forms. So it feels more like boundless energy, the realization of it being more boundless, and the collections of, like, you know, morsels along the way without it being breadcrumbed. And so it's very entrancing and alluring to others. Um, uh, do I have a bite right there? I don't know. So that's in hindsight. Okay, so this is great. I don't need to convince you of these things. Just telling you of them is very is like confirming on its own. It's what do you call it? Some people just like to hear confirmation, and this is, you know, that's where you're at. I mean, that's where I've been out for a good amount of time, and it's sometimes it's nice not to be told what to do. Okay, it's sometimes nice to have, like, to be supported in a way, like, oh, these are the right things that you are doing, and then some, like, just ideas thrown out there of suggestions, of recommendations. And that's what you do. That's what I learned as an assistant at a higher level, like board member level or executive level, corporate level, whatever. There's not, it's not a level of kissing ass, no, though it does, like, reach to that nature, but it's more so, directly speaking, is that's how you treat, you know, people who have to deal with a lot of shit, and they need it broken down, excuse me, to a level that is not elementary. It's more like um like, we believe in this. We're invested. We believe in you. But in a way that's more conducive to getting things done, you know, facilitating. And so you go through like suggestions or accolades. That's all that it is. Or if you have to remind, we kindly remind you. That way it doesn't dampen any relationship, whether it's singular, how one feels about what, you know, what they're doing, how they communicate, you know, etc. Versus, you know, um, um, the getting things done part, practical part of it. How that's being received. Okay. So any more? Hindsight. They said yes. Okay. Any more hindsight? Is this for them or us or me? It's us. Okay. The mother card, the animal. Okay. So the mother card is kind of reaching out to the king area. But this is this is a magician. So back to the womb, the creator. Okay, the reference point. Yeah, so the mother originates, the father releases, like delegates, you see? The pearl, the way it, like, and then it's brought being, so there's like, okay, maybe it's for others too, but this part where I understand it is that there's, oh, information or like something of worth, of high worth, is of high enough worth to be translated or handed from person to person. Like there's a special delivery, not like a third party delivery, like it's handed over to someone entrusted to hand over to the next person, and so to engage with me. So maybe that's also for some of my collective here. I promote it, but if we're not looking at things like in its like woo-woo sense, I would say that there's a direct relationship of like a, not hierarchical, but there's certainly a system of communication of worth, and um the consistency of carrying over from page to page, or from, you know, king to queen or queen to king, whatever. And so that is trustworthy in those energetics, like that tight knit kind of circle. Okay, so the mother came out with the animal card as well. I think this is something that empaths or like very intuitive, very nurturing type of energies have in them. This level of character where it's innate, like let's say wolf pack, you know, to kind of bind together, to be together. But for here, what they're trying to show me is like for me and my kids, whenever we have something that is absolutely tasty, like so freaking delicious, we automatically feel the need, like we must share it with our, you know, our kin. um we must give them a sample of whatever this is. They must taste it in its freshest state of mind. My kids and I are absolutely to the T, like there's a level of guilt, like personal guilt, that we would have, like it is so good, you must share in this. um so there's that here, you know. Yeah, so it's not like yeah, it's like it proves over time, like has always been like that. And that's I love that part. So for us, I would say that there's, this is the hindsight part. So hindsight is 2020. That this involvement is still worthwhile. Okay? It's very much worthwhile. Um People still have it in them. We're just like, this is we're not gonna what is it? Sugar sugar it up. How do they say it? Sugar, I don't know, something like that. Sugar it up. Anyway. Okay, anything more? No more on the hindsight. Now let's look at the afterthoughts, like the unpretty version of looking at things. Like, well, it doesn't always have to be that. An afterthought is like just a realization. Sometimes an afterthought is like, couldn't be bothered, like, oh well. Afterthought, like, it means little or lesser. So it could, it's a variety of ways. Okay, so we'll figure out this part. Okay. What are the afterthoughts? Okay, for me. Okay, we'll do afterthoughts for me first. That was fast. 6 of Cups. It landed on the cap as well as the King of Swords combo thing in reversal and whatever. 6 of Cups. Kind of diagonally. Oh, okay. So I have people who keep me safe. Afterthoughts. Yeah, definitely. That we already talked about that part. So even more emphasis that there are energies that keep me safe. Hmm. Okay. So all the more reason to like think about these energies, become more thoughtful of like if they highly admire, invest in me in some manner, I should be more considerate of their inputs and how I'm being received. Mm-hmm. We're talking about the applications of love language here. So, yeah, okay. Clarifier. Yeah, clarify. This said, 2 of Swords. Yeah, they blocked off a bunch of stuff. Oh my gosh, with a samurai sword even. Oh my gosh, they're like ninjas. I got ninjas. That's crazy. Who the heck has ninjas? I don't know. That's crazy. Hello, ninjas. Hello, ninjas. Is it do 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 do. What is that song? I don't know. I know it was a little off key, but it's okay. For the most, I hit most of the keys. Anyway, okay. So there's like this diagonal alley kind of energy here. But it's kind of like a learning process here. Do you see how it is? The tree branches. I'm trying to see this like my eyes. How did I do it? Yeah, like that. How it meets in the middle like that, okay? Like diagonally. Just slightly. So you're not just... So it's kind of like a little bit of a Picasso type of energy. Things slumping a little bit. But you can see collectively what's going on here. 2 worlds like intermeshed almost. It's not quite the upside down, but it's part of our world, you know. So wonderful, because like I didn't want to ask the event organizer like what would you do if such and such happened. Like, no, we roll with it as it comes. Like for this particular instance, I would be called this way or that. There's no room to assert any fear here. Okay, so afterthoughts. That's a great afterthought. Okay, anything more for me on afterthoughts? Yes? No. What about for just my collective crew that was present for this event? No. So this is for us then, afterthoughts. Yes. Okay. So obviously, if as far as afterthoughts, you must be doing great, unless they want me to do the afterthoughts for just for you after. Afterthoughts. Okay. What was that? Was it here? I'm gonna assume it was that. For us, Four of Wands in reverse. It's afterthoughts. These are this is the paradigm shift. This is the reallocation. This is the processing unit of self-realization. Like I could be here or I could be there. Last year I was here, or last month I was there. And it's just looking at ourselves in different scenarios and taking our win, like understanding, like, okay, that got me to here, that got me to there. Where could this get me? That's what it says. Yeah. Based on the here and now, where could I be? You know, where could this get me? This here and now, where can it get me? That's what that is. Because it's like, you are here now. I just noticed that the gazelles, like, horns. Do gazelles have horns? Like, freaking, I don't know. I mean, maybe these are ebus or isbas or... There are different variations, trust me. Those animal, like, fact cards or geographical fact cards, yeah, they go long ways. So there's that, okay? I bet you I have at least one card lingering somewhere as a bookmarker to one of my things. If I found like a small deck, if I found a deck of them, I would be so happy. That would be my Christmas present. Yes. Yes. Okay, so for us, afterthoughts. Okay. Opened up to 10 of Pentacles. Oh. Did they lie? No. It was just upcoming. Okay, so what piece? This fell out. Okay, the Chariot and 10 of Swords in reverse. Look, getting away from like that killer energy, the one that's trying to fuck you up. Not just fuck you up, but make sure you get, like, you shouldn't die. That kind of energy. It's like treading past that, like trampling over it, the wheels. It's yeah. Okay. Anyway, Queen of Pentacles right there. I got my own. The Queen of Pentacles certainly does have wheels. Very progressive, but still a great mom. So they don't leave, you know, certain traditions or values behind. They carry it forward. Page of Cups, talking about carrying it forward. Extroverted, bringing that vibe. Ace of Wands, there's a certain degree of creativity, but also warmth within that nature, like self-fueling. Like I have purpose. Not like I do have purpose, and I'm going to purpose. Hierophant card, okay. And then what follows that, they now found it out for us. Four of Pentacles inverted, Knight of Pentacles inverted, Queen of Wands inverted. Talk about purpose. So I'm purposing it. This is that's what that is. Holy crap, that's so crazy. All the magic that I have, the connections I have, I'm bringing that forward to the table. I own these. I'm not handing them over. I'm not relinquishing. I'm just simply sharing. It's bringing that in. Okay. So afterthoughts. After that, these are great afterthoughts, you know, for us, because everybody has their own like particular ecosystem, their own like assets, like their own inventory. Let's speak on a more practical level, so that people are not like freaked out on the woo-woo. Because if you go to like some really shady places, they're assuming that you are sharing all sorts of assets, your energetic assets, your the intangible assets, which includes that of your whole family. The things that are meant to be flowing to you. This is like collective coven destiny swap type of bullshit, and like who like every man for themselves, like whoever like you know, it's like kind of grabby food at the table type of energy. So that's why, like, it's, I would say the energy here is highly underrated because I've made my rounds, I've socialized, um, even with there being newcomers, whatever, in general, like, I can trust the energy there a shit ton more than any other place that I have been thus far. Um, so kudos to that. On, like, the being on the same page, as far as, um the understanding of, what is being shared, what is being brought, what is being recognized, and, accessed. There's no bullshit like, okay, reading me, like, it's not my fault that they don't know anything about this part or that part. No, we're not doing that here. Okay. As soon as I detect that, I will be handling that. But I have not seen that here. Okay, so let's cut the deck. Clarifier, the world card. So, this is, oh, um, this is, the manifestation of a closed chapter. Again, like, this is a quiet win. This is what this is about. When I did that post reading, like the energy reading towards the end of the event. You know, I did hear one, like, discouraging thing. I'm I'm not gonna talk. Okay, I'm gonna hold anything that I have legitimately observed to be negative. I'm gonna hold that until, like, there's a certainty if I have to leave. Okay, and if it could be a mixture of good terms and bad terms, or just bad terms, or just good terms. I don't know yet, but there are exit interviews with me, basically, is what I'm saying. So I'm not gonna discuss that here and now. Yeah, they erased it from me for a second, so I couldn't access it again. That's crazy. So they really want me to kind of keep with the energies kosher, they said. The spirit of it. Now I truly want to remember what it is. Holy crud. Oh, I know what it is. It was so freaking petty. Like, it was petty. It was fake. It was petty. But I have made the decision that I am not going to transact. Maybe not even interact. Keep it down to a very, very slight minimum with that energy. Okay? We didn't call it a vendor, a customer, or whatever. I said with that energy. Okay? Knight of Cups. Okay? I'm going to keep the romance alive because that's what I fucking deserve. Okay? That's what we all deserve, you know? Three of Swords. Yeah. When I said petty, it was more of like that kind of energy, Three of Swords. Ugh. Wow. Okay. I have to understand people are in different places, and just allow for some room. Okay. Okay, anything more on afterthoughts? Okay, what about just for my collective of that was present here at the event? No. No. Okay, so you're doing well. Now for just my collective. Yes. We have cross watchers here too, but are still within my collective of 11 lights. So we'll get afterthoughts for you, for your takeaway. 10 of Pentacles. You are My my what do you call it? My cross watchers that were not involved in the event or whatever, um, they they're banking. They're they have a like they're so it sounds so it sounds so stupid saying it like that. They're very rich. No, they're wealthy. They have a lot of money, like a lot. No, they have a lot of money. If we're talking about star level here, they have a bank. I don't. That doesn't really matter to me. Like in the assortment process, it's just an identifier, and it's a nice to have. Um, and it's also showing like, yeah, they say guilty by association, or whatever by association. This is the what did I hear? As if association. There's a lot of people who are not like who are hating on that. Well, not a lot, but they hate a lot. There's a certain increment of people that like heavily be hating on like as if. Okay, anyway, yeah, there's that's your afterthought. I mean, that's an identifier though. But if we're talking about afterthoughts, yeah, that's the identifier. So I get the identifiers afterthought. That's a header card for you. Okay, so afterthought. The lover's card. They're like, you're just like me. I get you. One day I'm gonna find you. I'm gonna get you, get you, get you, get you. Ketchup, 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 ketchup. If I was like a youngling and first heard that song, that's what without discographies, that's what I'd be like, yeah, I'm gonna ketchup, 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 ketchup. I'm eating my hot dog. One day, I'm gonna meet ya. I'm gonna ketchup, a ketchup. Yeah, that's what I would. That's probably why Weird Al is, you know. So that's what I told you. So for the new people here, again, the discography helped me like along the ways, and that's why like I I still kind of need that like lyrics on YouTube. Some are just more, you know, focusing on certain points than others. But anyway, I digress. I told you that I thought that my mind is playing. Okay, my mind is playing tricks on me by the Ghetto Boys. I thought they were saying my mama's playing tricks on me. I thought that. I thought that as a youngling. Okay. Okay. Ketchup, 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 ketchup. Okay. So now you know a little bit more about your new beloved reader. Okay, there's that. And I would be very surprised if you caught that reading where I shared it with you, because that was a while ago. All right, so that's your afterthoughts. Okay, what about your hindsights? The stone in reverse, rolling stone, hindsight. Oh, okay. So like some people, okay, so hindsight is 2020. So I think the camaraderie portion, like, but where it hits home is like it is very much like a rolling stone. Like there is an understanding, like into the complete unknown. Like it's non-biased. Once you engage, you are engaged in this very similar process. So you can't fake it, nor can you fuck it up, because half of it is like a force to be reckoned with that forces you to be a force to be reckoned with, and so you just go with it. So so there's like a Klinko type of energy here, like you know, that kind of energy. You just go with it. And so like in that process, you are bound to hit some speed bumps, okay? And it leads you to this thing, and so there's pauses along the way, is what it's saying. Even when you're in the means to park your vehicle, in the means of like you're just about at your destination, and then there's like there's still those pausing moments. um mhm. Okay. I don't so there's a cognizance of like bringing back to the awareness of your body, your vehicle present there. Okay, bringing that to the table. So if you have a low rider, you gotta like, swerve around them, or you have to like go at a degree, like a certain angle in order to not ruin your undercarriage. So it's something like that, the bringing back to your awareness. Okay. So that's for you. Okay. Any more afterthoughts? Hindsights. Yes, more hindsights for you. And again, something about ketchup, because hindsights audibly sounds like Heinz sauce. It's just, who's ketchup here? Anyway, another one of your hindsights. Gosh, the ocean in reverse. Kind of like the sky is falling, but it's the ocean. So something about rain here. Are you experiencing a lot of rain? Like precipitation is up in the sky. What the fuck does that mean? Precipitation is up in the sky. But so therefore, all the more reason, like whatever's in the sky, this is also talking about intangibly, it causes, a reflection in the water, also reflection in the sky. So there's something about precipitation in which like you can see heightened levels of intuition being reflected to you. What the heck was? Okay, so you can see um there's something about messages being in the sky, like very reflective, like you can scry now. There's, I don't know. One thing leads to another. So your exposure to one energy can help open, like turn the key to certain things like, oh, astral travel, or certain gifts. Like, oh, now you can, because of that expansiveness and seeing the panoramic view of like how you see others, how you're observing others, then it opens up your abilities to do other things, that are highly reflective within your own prism of energy. Interesting. Hindsight 2020. Except hindsight isn't like looking back, it's kind of looking up. Because you were able to be like expand your horizons there. So there's all the more reason to expand it from there. Whew, that was a big one. Okay, anything more? Any more hindsights? No. That's crazy. All right, so my 3 takeaways are numero uno, the death card. Kaput! I kaputs you in your place. Death, there's like a finality here. Again, the world card, closing chapters. This is like basically a good pivot, a good segue from the origin story to like, this is where it all starts, baby. What? My second takeaway is Queen of Cups. I intuitively know, understand it does take time, but we're still swimming. Just keep swimming. Just keep swimming. What do? We swim. And then we also tunnel out like in a surge. You have no idea. You got no idea. Okay. That's my second takeaway. My third takeaway, talk about pivot. Like pivoting in the ocean. Like when you're amidst it, that's, what are you gonna say about that? That's just like spinning in it. Whirlpool. Anyway, like a spinning top. You know what this reminds me of? Like the way this is highlighted. It reminds me of like back in the day. I think we went to like the San Francisco area. It was the first time that I'd ever done that with my, you know, singular family unit. And we got like, I think from Chinatown or something like that. We got these like little spinning tops, and they played like DJ like energy, like, and they like, my son loved it. He loved it. So like both of them loved it actually. But the younger one loved it the mostest because it was like, what do you call it? The thing where you just pull it and it's like the spinning top. That's the same energy. I forget what you call them. Anyway, he had his little collection of it. But that's what it reminded me of. You know that song? And it's like it's the it's like disco, but it's like there's like things blasting off on the sides. It's not bass, but it's like lasers like from both sides. And then they say something, and then but it's like deep a little bit, and then and then they go dun, 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 dun. It's like it's layered like that. I don't know what song that is, but people like from the disco area, like the scenario where it kind of jumps over to like that electric kind of, that's what that is. I don't know why I have to say that, but like it also takes on those like others that are ancient and that are also slower moving, you know, that go with the flow. I don't know why I had to mention that, but every time I don't mention something like sheep from the last card that was drawn on, I don't know, a reading or two ago, it shows up in like the channeled music, and it's like, I'm sorry. So they're just small miniature lessons in calling out things as, you know. So it's like there's a vibe to it because like that same glow is Phoenix energy. You can't suffer that. You can't suffocate that fire energy in water is what they're saying, and it's non-biased to whether human or animal. And again, where is that animal thing? You know, what the animal card that we got with the mother card. Yeah, all the more reason to the Queen of Cups, too. Anyway, okay, so this final card, Page of Pentacles, okay. So this is proving it intuitively with Hecate type of energy that I'm here for this, okay? I'm here for this. I am in attendance, and I have improved. It's not just the same old, same old. When I did the balancing act between something that would supposedly offer more funds, you get lost in the sauce of a certain arena, and it's the same old, like same old, same old, same old in that arena, and then it proves even more same old, same old, same old when you come into this type of pop-up type of energy. So it's like it's even more personally condescending, you know. That's why this, it's either this focus or that focus for me. It's something about at this particular stage, it would be misguidance for me to play it safe by having to dip into both arenas. I know that seems wild, but that's, so this is afterthought on that. The empty room, it's inverted there with a heart right there in reversal. So nobody can really validate. I don't even think the cards are supposed to validate it. Like, you are in the void, okay, when you do this. When you embark on a journey of absolute creativity, like putting something out there that has never been done before, of course, nobody should have any shit to say about it. You're in the void. You are the one accessing these points and creating with these, like, you know, like Picasso style, but like kind of aligning it to how you see fit. It is revolutionary in its presentation, but that's what a visionary does, okay? They do not consult with the world. They just kind of like share it. So, but that's, you know, those are the real like pioneers. And so, you know, I can't be too hard on myself nor let anybody get to me if they're, you know, trying to condemn me or think a little less of me. Or think like maybe that's not the wisest choice. But like energetically, I don't need that. Okay, so I have to figure out mm, how to maintain my own, basically. See, look, oh my gosh, the creator is the bottom of the deck, accentuated for sure. Okay, so I got that far. Okay, oh wait, I was gonna do clarifiers for these, huh? For my takeaways, okay? So for the death card, the crone, accentuated. Maiden Mother Crone. Hecate is like graduate energy. There you go. You're good. You've closed this chapter. It is officially closed. Doesn't matter if certain paperworks or signatures regarding to your previous life or whatever remain like are up in the air. They are no longer binding on you, Tina. They are, how do I say it? They are no longer binding for me. Okay? This is your graduate energy, Tina. This is a closed chapter. It is official, okay? Nothing of that can weigh you down, okay? Nothing of that sort can weigh me down. I have to talk like that, okay? Oh, my tummy. Let me just like, okay. Let me get one more. It just seemed like so wild, like, 8 of Cups. Yes, you can leave it. You can leave it behind. I'm hearing you. They're magically delicious. And they're magically, it's like, demolished. It's over, you know? It's over! I just heard it like that in my head. Like, all of a sudden, I just had to do it. It's over! Okay. Anyway, Queen of Cups. What's the clarifier to that? My second takeaway. The healer accentuated. Okay, so the Queen of Cups is very intuitive. She knows what is your particular band-aid? Do you like the boo-boo sticker that has like the SpongeBob stuff on it? Or do you like the boo-boo sticker with Bakugan in it? What boo-boo sticker would you like to choose? So, or like which boo-boo sticker fits you best? There's something about that matchmaking energy in healing. And it's kind of like just intuitively drawn. So that's my takeaway. Again, Maiden, Mother, Crone, three-headed snake, triad or trifecta of, like, yeah, triple threat type of energy. Interesting. No more on that. Okay, so my third takeaway, clarifier to the Page of Pentacles. So I'm seen as a very intuitive and effective healer, like, on you know, multi-level. Like, you don't mess with the Maiden, Mother, Crone type of energy. You approach, like, you can approach, like, different levels of life, and still be just as effective. But it's harder to, like, the comparability, like, the measurements of effectiveness, you can't, it's like, it's apples to oranges for this one. Yeah. So at this level, you have to break it down to like yes or no type of question. Does it do for you? Yes or no? That type of question. Yeah. Okay. So anyway, Page of Pentacles clarifier. The tear inverted. I'll need to see what that's all about. The tear. I don't know what to say about that. 52, isn't it? I don't know. I think L is 50. Okay. The morning, the release, the rain. It's inverted. Okay. When in light, melody, melancholy flowing through. When in dark, drowning, drama, murkiness. Okay. So, it's going with the flow, but this is very, kind of like quarantined almost. Like I hold it for myself. If both the tear and the river appear in the reading, okay, nope, don't have that there. Okay, the tear is powerful, and it is possible to be subsumed in its waters. Find a supportive place to open the floodgates. I was called out. Okay. That's fine. This is on 169. Tears are droplets of letting go. Once they begin to fall, we allow the swelling tide of emotion to run its elemental course. Often the tear is what is needed in order for a conversation or situation to break into the next level of intimacy and vulnerability. Some say that tears are so powerful in softening our egos that they open up a portal to the unseen world. Through our watery eyes, the ancestors catch a glimpse of us, and we are reminded of their eternal embrace. We sense our humanity, our humility, and we allow ourselves to be held. It is likely this card appears when there is grieving yet to do, a sinking down into disappointment or despair that, once acknowledged, will bring a shimmer of clarity to our dewy eyes. Is this a call to action? Like this is pending? Or is this past? This is past. So I've already gone through that. And all the more reason to show like I'm invested in, like I'm here. I'm invested in this. Okay. Yeah, I was worried that this was more of like a pending, because, like I said, I was holding it in. I don't think it was a matter of self-protection in which like I can't trust anybody else out there. This was more of like, no, this is kind of like you just wouldn't get it. You like your patterning shows me that you just wouldn't get it. And so I'm not dumbing you down. I'm not like, it's just I have to be truthful to its channeling and its sharing. So that's what that is. And so we sense our humanity, our humility, and allow ourselves to be held. Catch a glimpse of us, yeah. So, in my private moments, there was a little tearful moment, but like when I allow it to come, like to engage, to be displayed, even though like it's a private moment. Sometimes also when I'm, doing a reading here, like it tapers off into this like what almost seems like vanity. Like there's a curb to it, and that curb makes it seem vain, and I know it's not. I'm just trying to curb it. So, because I know it's just not the right forum. Yeah, to allow for that exposure. Like, yeah. Yeah, so there's that. That's weird. Did I just pull out a tear? And burn it? That's it for now. That's it. I can just leave it like that. Okay. Thanks very much for all donations provided in and of light and love that reciprocate equally and therefore abundantly. Where's my thing? But now that this reading is officially over, I call back all my power, energy, essence, gifts, strength, passions, properties from those that call upon, cast, generate, bring, magnify, multiply, or any variation thereof the aforementioned ill will, intent, thought form, pattern, and or entity to pass through the white light of the Holy Spirit for cleansings, for blessings, for reformatting to love and light energy, and to be refortified in me, only me, a house of free, no doubt, and no attachment, except for all bonus points included. Thanks so much. Of course, I'm glad. Thank you for letting me read for you. Thank you and your guides of love and light for collaborating and letting me read for you. I think that's it for now. Okay, upon closing the portals in this reading, I send all energies back to their appropriate locations outside of mine with their appropriate karmas due, assisting with the sequence of rollout and light and love. I close the portals in this reading. Ugh.